Man, some major stuff went down this chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai. And, I mean, Merlin, what the hell, Merlin? So let's go into this chapter. Nanatsu no Taizai 237, the pacifier demon. Alright, so the first thing that happens is we get Kusak and Zeldaris' conversation, which only really served to hype this chapter up more than what we already anticipated. You know, you have Kusak saying, the pacifier demon's on point, you know, he's full powered. But he's not full powered, but he's still a top-notch demon, you know, he's gonna be sick. So I'm like, alright, so Kusak has faith in Chandler, this is cool. And they did seem to have that kind of mutual respect between them, both being the teachers of princes of the demon realm. So they were always going to have that respect, and I liked that respect between them. But Kusak does seem to hold or value Chandler highly. He's like, yeah, that guy's a boss, don't worry about him, we're good. And Zeldaris obviously delivers the chilling line of, don't underestimate the 7 deadly sins. You know, they've already done shit that we didn't think they'd be doing. They took out the rest of the commandments, you know. One of them took out freaking Estarossa. So, you know, you can't underestimate him. So that's really good. But then we come on to Chandler, and I really like how broken Chandler is, okay? A lot of people will probably have an issue with it. I think a lot of people were actually fine with this. They were just like, yo, shit, Chandler's pretty dope. And I was fine with it. I really like how broken Chandler is, but he's not immensely broken at this moment in time. He hasn't done anything exceedingly like horrific to the sins, but he seems to be able to use magic on a level which is seemingly beyond Merlin's at this point. He can use absolute cancel for one, which isn't like, oh, that's a really high level technique. It's something I think only Merlin has displayed, but I don't think it's something that, like, because Merlin, she realized that he could use that, and she was like, okay, shit, maybe we need to take this a bit more seriously. Then right after saying that, and after saying that we shouldn't take him lightly, Merlin tries to seal a mofo's magic. She's like, yeah, I'll just seal your magic. And Chandler's just looking at her like, you're gonna try this on me right now? So the fact that she wanted to seal his magic specifically shows firstly how dangerous he is as a mage, which is something I want to come on to later. And then he uses something it's a bit disappointing how ununique this technique is, but he uses full counter. Now this is it's not exactly like an ass pull or anything like that, because it's totally acceptable that the master of Meliodas knows how to use freaking Meliodas' technique. But the fact that Zeldaris can use was enough. The fact that Estarossa can use full counter as well, and I think did Zeldaris display full counter? I don't think Zeldaris has displayed it, but Estarossa did. And even though that was a different strain of full counter, it's the fact that 3 people can use full counter, so it's not really Meliodas' technique. So what is Meliodas' like thing? What's his thing? You know, like Ban has snatched and all that. What's his magical power? Maybe I'm just missing something. Maybe it's that Kage Bunshin thing he does with Lost Vein. I don't know, but Meliodas' full counter isn't really Meliodas' full counter. But then again, the rest of the demons, apart from the commandments, don't really display their own strain of a magical ability, apart from, like I said, the commandments, who are given an ability by the Demon King. So maybe it's different with Demon Kind. And what is it with Nakaba and having one adult and one child looking adult in a relationship? I mean, like, we find out this chapter after the full counter that Merlin is a loli, because basically what we see is that Chandler full counters Merlin's magic sealing magic. She was about to curse him with a magic sealing attack, and he full counters that, so now her magic is sealed, and because her magic is sealed, her appearance of being like this woman in her mid-20s, being this really good-looking woman, she's suddenly become her original form, which is just this little girl about like 10 years old or some shit, a really thin, scrawny girl. So I was like, what? And yeah, Nakaba's whole thing of having like this lolly / giant or big or adult-looking other adult in the relationship, it's really weird. Like with Ban and Elaine, Meliodas and Elizabeth, you got now Escanor and friggin' Lolly Merlin, and I'm just like, really, man? Come on, man, what's wrong with you, boy? So then Chandler recognizes her as Belialuin's daughter. Now, Belialuin must have been some badass geezer, because I thought Belialuin was a place, but the way he says in this chapter, are you Belialuin's daughter? I was like, yo, okay. So I can't wait to find out who Belialuin is, and if the fact that the 10 Commandments were shocked when they heard her real name and Belialuin's name being mentioned, and Chandler's all jolly about it. You can tell from the way his bubbles are drawn, his speech bubbles. He's like, oh, you're Belialuin's daughter, ha ha ha, la la la. And he must have been some sort of big shot, or someone that a lot of the demons were like all buddy with. He might not even have been a demon, I don't know, but he might have been someone who the demons were all like chummy with and stuff, and they had some tea and shit. I don't know. So the fact, yeah, so Belialoon must have been some badass guy. And then we come to the power levels. Now this part was fun for everyone. Diane 8,000. She has that's fine. I was like, it was kind of low, but we also know that she has to kind of charge up her power level by dancing. So it's no biggie really, because once she starts dancing, it starts escalating really, really fast and really gets to a really high level. King is at a baseline of 40,000, which is really nice, and Gartha at 35,400, also really nice. And then we come to the part which I didn't really like about this chapter, which is I'm not sure I like the fact that Chandler is the highest ranked demon. But then after thinking about it for a few seconds before doing this review, I thought about it and I was like, it's not too big of an issue, but I still didn't really like it. So I appreciate that he's really strong, but who the hell is the actual like strongest or highest ranked demon? Because you have to, it's all about the wording. It's not that he's the strongest demon, he's the highest ranked demon. So this is something I had to really think about. So I appreciate that he's really strong, but who is the actual highest ranked demon then, or was the highest ranked demon? Because we know the Demon King will be the highest ranked demon. There's no one above the Demon King. But in terms of everyone else below that, was it Meliodas who was the highest ranked demon? Was it Zeldaris, the face of the Demon King, essentially the I forgot what the word. Oh my god, Zeldaris plays what's his part? You know, he plays the role of the kind of ambassador of the Demon King. And then we have Chandler, who seems to be the highest ranked demon according to Gartha. So what I assume is that outside of the royal family, or maybe outside of the Demon King and Meliodas, actually yeah, maybe even the royal family, Chandler must have been the highest ranked demon outside of the king, Meliodas, Estarossa, and Zeldaris. So everyone outside of the bloodline of the royal family, Chandler must have been like next up and been like, yeah, I'm the highest ranked demon in total. So that was cool. I didn't really mind that. It's just that we've had so much of like, oh, Meliodas was the best, and then now Zeldaris is the best, you know, being the executioner and the face of the demon clan in terms of in place of the king. And then what about Estarossa? You know, he's still older than Zeldaris and shit. It's, I don't know, man. So yeah, I'm okay with that. And then, although he's an absolute beast, I like the fact that Chandler seems to have a pretty chill kind of enthusiasm and demeanor, and he's able to negotiate with the seven deadly sins. He's alright, just give me Meliodas, and we're all good. Give me Elizabeth too, and we're all good. Obviously, the sins don't do that. Also, Chandler seems to be primarily a mage and not a fighter. Now, obviously, being part of the Demon Clan and being the highest ranked demon outside of possibly the royal family or something like that, Chandler will be an excellent fighter. There's no doubt about that. He's going to be an excellent fighter. But at the moment, he seems to be primarily a mage, and maybe that's his, even if he is an excellent fighter, he might actually primarily be a mage, seeing as he has no discernible weapon on him. He doesn't have a sword, a spear, or anything like that. I think Cusack has a sword. Does he have a hilt? Does he have a scabbard, just hanging at his hip? I think he might do. But what's his name? Chandler seems to only have a staff. So maybe primarily a mage. Also, he shrinks Diane, a magical attack. He uses full counter on Merlin, also a magical attack. He uses absolute cancel, magical attack. He surrounds them all in that eternal night thing. That's also a magical kind of environmental influence. So does this mean that Meliodas is more proficient, or is a more proficient mage than what we thought, or what he's let on, or than what he's let on? Or is it that Chandler is just so good of a teacher that he honed and taught Meliodas according to Meliodas' skill set, and he helped him along, even though Meliodas was like Meliodas was a fighter and he seems to primarily be a mage. He was just really good. He was a really good teacher, and he was able to make Meliodas an excellent demon, even though they had conflicting styles of fighting. Or maybe Meliodas is better at magic than we think he is. He just doesn't seem to use it very much. So then we see Escanor. He's looking like bones, a bag of bones, and we find out that demons' powers increase during the night. So this is where all the power scaling fans are gonna go ape shit. They're gonna go ape with this. So now, is the one form of Escanor stronger than Meliodas at, like, let's say midnight? Even though they wouldn't technically be able to fight, considering Meliodas would have to be at his peak at midnight, and Escanor is at his peak at midday. So, you know, they wouldn't really be able to fight, but now people are going to be like, oh yeah, and then seeing that Meliodas wasn't actually at his peak and he's still reverting to his form, his demonic form, we don't really know Meliodas' max power output. So a lot of people with that, who are interested in the scaling or power scaling, they're going to go ape with that. Then we come to like the end of the chapter where we see the meteors raining down from the sky. I thought the Meteor Works move was awesome as hell. It was really well drawn. We see the landscape getting pulverized and demolished. We see Mama Hawk getting possibly hurt a bit, but she doesn't seem to be too hurt. No one seems to mind so much. And the truth of it is, Chandler is going to be a tough cookie. He's going to be hard to deal with. And then we have the ending of the chapter, which is Galtha and King versus Chandler. They're gonna try and put him out of commission. Now Galtha is the one here. He's the chosen one here. He seems to know the most about Chandler, seeing as his memories have all returned, and he seems to have a plan. You know, that look he gave King, he's like, let's get the fuck out of here, you know? That look he gave him suggests that maybe he knows something about Chandler that he can utilize. Maybe he can influence. I think there'll be something to do with utilizing some form of memory manipulation on Chandler. That seems to be the way to go. But Chandler knows Galtha. He's like, you're Galtha's doll. Yeah, I gotcha. And if he knew anything about Galtha or Galtha's doll, he will know that Galtha's magic tended to be something to do with manipulation. Because Galtha was a member of the Ten Commandments. You have to remember that. So Chandler is not to be underestimated. But let me know what you guys thought. I really enjoyed this chapter. It's got to be like an 8.5 out of 10. It was a solid chapter. There was nothing wrong with this chapter. So I'm not going to mark it down for what it didn't have. I'm going to mark it on what it has. So it's a really good chapter, an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in a bit.